Life has a way of throwing curveballs, and I, Sarah, had learned that the hard way. It was 2023, and the world seemed to be spinning faster than ever. But for my husband, Tom, and me, it had come to a screeching halt. Tom, the love of my life and my rock, had lost his job at the factory, a casualty of the relentless march of technology and economic downturn. Our small town of Brooksville felt the strain, with shops closing and neighbors moving away in search of better opportunities. The loss hit us hard. Tom, always so proud and strong, began to shrink into a shell of his former self. He would spend hours at his desk, poring over job listings, his face growing more despondent with each passing day. I did my best to keep our spirits up, taking on extra shifts at the local diner, but the mounting bills and the empty promises of "we'll get through this" began to wear thin. One evening, as I counted our last few dollars, trying to figure out how to stretch them for another week, a knock came at the door. It was Mrs. Henderson, our elderly neighbor. She handed me a flyer about a writing contest, her wrinkled hand trembling slightly. "I've always loved the way you tell stories, Sarah," she said, with a knowing smile. "Maybe it's time the world heard them too." I wanted to laugh it off. Me, a writer? But something in her eyes stopped me. It was the same look Tom used to have, full of belief and hope. So I tucked the flyer into my apron pocket and promised to think about it. That night, as Tom and I lay in bed, the silence heavy between us, I turned and whispered, "What if I entered a writing contest? You know, just to see." Tom turned to face me, his eyes searching mine in the dim light. "Sarah, you're an amazing storyteller. You should do it." Encouraged by his words, I started writing after my shifts at the diner. I poured our story, our struggles, and our love onto those pages. It was a story of a couple facing the harsh reality of 2023, a tale of love tested by the fires of hardship. Weeks passed, and I submitted my story, trying not to get my hopes up. Tom continued his job hunt, but now there was a new energy in him, fueled by the excitement of my secret project. We found solace in each other, our love deepening in the face of adversity. Then, one rainy afternoon, as I was wiping down tables at the diner, my phone rang. It was the contest organizers. I had won. The prize was substantial enough to cover our debts and keep us afloat for a few months. I was in shock, tears streaming down my face as the customers and staff erupted in cheers. Rushing home, I flung the door open and found Tom sitting at the kitchen table, head in his hands. "Tom," I cried out, "I won! My story won the contest!" He looked up, his face breaking into a wide, disbelieving smile. We hugged, laughing and crying, the weight of the past months lifting off our shoulders. But the surprises weren't over yet. The following week, Tom received a call. The factory was reopening under new management, and they wanted him back, offering him a better position with a higher salary. It felt like the universe was finally smiling down on us. We celebrated that night, a simple dinner at home, but it felt like a feast fit for royalty. We talked about our dreams, now reignited, and made plans for the future. Tom admitted that seeing me chase my passion had inspired him to never give up. Life had tested us, but we emerged stronger and more united. Our love, which had once felt like a fragile flame in the darkness, now burned brightly, guiding us through the uncertainty. In the end, the year 2023 taught us that even in the darkest times, hope can be found in the most unexpected places. It taught us the power of resilience, the strength of love, and the magic of believing in each other. And as for me, I continued writing, turning our story of struggle and triumph into a beacon of hope for others. For in the pages of my story, others found the courage to face their own challenges, knowing that with love and perseverance, dawn always follows the darkest night.